The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Some people told Jesus about the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with the blood of their sacrifices. And Jesus said to them in reply, "Do you think that because these Galileans suffered in this way, they were greater sinners than all other Galileans? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did. Or those 18 people who were killed when the tower at Siloam fell on them, do you think they were more guilty than everyone else who lived in Jerusalem? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did." And he told them this parable. There once was a person who had a fig tree planted in his orchard. And when he came in search of fruit on it, but found none, he said to the gardener, "For 3 years now I have come in search of fruit on this fig tree, but have found none. So cut it down. Why should it exhaust the soil?" He said to him in reply, "Sir, leave it for this year also, and I shall cultivate the ground around it and fertilize it. It may bear fruit in the future. If not, you can cut it down." The Gospel of the Lord. I'd like to focus my thoughts this morning on that first reading, the call of Moses, mainly because this passage from Exodus 4 is very dear to me. You probably know, of course, that our tabernacle here in the sanctuary is modeled off of this passage from Exodus 4, where God speaks to Moses from the midst of a mysterious burning bush. And he reveals his name to Moses as I am who am, kind of a mysterious name. In Hebrew, it's Yahweh, right? But he's assuring Moses, I am with you. I am the one who is, who always was and always will be, and I will be with you. It's just a proclamation of the one and only God who is with us. And he reveals his name, his holy name to Moses. Moses was attracted to that burning bush while he was guarding the sheep on the mountainside, because it was kept burning and burning and burning, and it didn't get consumed. It didn't get any smaller. Maybe it didn't even look like it was charred. So he was drawn to the mystery of this burning bush. And we too are drawn, aren't we? Wherever you've come from this morning, you've been drawn here. You've been attracted by the Lord to gather around this burning bush, to gather around God's holy presence. And God said to Moses, "Remove the sandals on your feet, because the ground on which you are standing is holy ground." He's encountering the one and only holy God, right? And we encounter that same God every time we gather for the Eucharist. That same mysterious, eternal God who is with us, we come to encounter him, to focus on him, to receive him more fully in our lives, in our hearts, and even in our bodies every time we celebrate the Eucharist. And so when we designed the church, we not only have the tabernacle here, the I am who am, but we wanted to express that Jesus is God. Jesus is the one and only God. He's a second person of the Trinity, equally as mysterious as a burning bush. But we put the 6 windows around the transept here to show how Jesus says the same thing. I am the bread of life, right? I am the true vine. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the good shepherd. I am the light of the world. Jesus claims that same title because he's God, right? We are all assured when we come here into God's presence, we are assured that God is with us, right? That gives us consolation on our journey through life. It gives us hope. It gives us encouragement. But there's another reason why God comes to us in Jesus. He came to fulfill this. And there's another reason why he comes to us in the Eucharist. There's another reason why he came to Moses in that burning bush. He came to rescue his people from slavery. Did you hear the line? He says in Exodus 3, 5 through 9, he goes into this. I have witnessed the affliction of my people in Egypt, and I have heard their cry of complaint against their slave drivers. So I know well what they are suffering. Therefore I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians and lead them out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now, behold, the cry of the people Israel has come to me, and I have seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppressed them. I have come down to liberate them. And then the next verse, which is not in the passage today, Exodus 3:10. Come, I will send you to Pharaoh. That's what God says to Moses. I've come down to rescue my people. I'm going to send you. It's a little bit confusing probably for Moses. Right? I thought you were going to do it, Lord. You're calling me? I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring forth my people, the sons of Israel, out of Egypt. And just as he's sending Moses to liberate the people that he knew of that were enslaved, he's sending each of us as well to the people in our own lives that may be in some form of slavery or depression or sadness or alienation or whatever it is, away from God's holy presence, not experiencing his love. Now Moses, when he hears this, he's got a couple of excuses. He's not ready to do this. The first thing he says is, who am I, Lord? You know, who am I to go down there? That I should go to Pharaoh and bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt. And God says, don't worry about it. I will be with you. I am who am. I will be who I will be. I will be with you. Don't worry. It's not about you. It's about me. Just go. Right? And so the second thing Moses says is, well, what if they're not going to believe me? They're not going to believe me. And God says, I will show signs and wonders through you. And he tells him to take the rod that's in his hand and drop it, and it turns into a snake. Then he says, pick up the tail of the snake, and it turns back into a rod. He says, show them that. Then he says, put your hand under your arm, into your chest, and pull it out, and it's leprous. And he says, now put it back in, pull it out again, and it's clean. He says, show Pharaoh that. And if they're not convinced by that, he says, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the sand, and it will turn into blood. So I'm going to show you some signs and wonders. Don't worry, I'll convince them. And then Moses says, well, who are you? And that's when God says, I am who am, right? Giving his name. I am the one who's with you. Don't worry about it. And then Moses says, well, I'm slow of speech and slow of tongue. I'm not very eloquent. God says, who made your mouth? I made your mouth. I will give you the words. Don't worry about it. I will speak through you. And then Moses again dares to give one more excuse. Send someone else, Lord, please. I don't want to go. And God says, oh, there's your brother Aaron. He's coming right now. I'll send him along with you. I will speak through both of your mouths. Don't worry about it. And so we too may have our excuses, huh? All kinds of excuses, maybe why we don't want to help our neighbor, love our neighbor, give to the poor, give to the parish, visit the sick, whatever it is. Preach the good news to people who we know don't believe it. I mean, we may have all kinds of excuses why we don't want to go. Maybe we've been there. Moses had been in Egypt. He knew what it was like down there. He knew this Pharaoh, right? Maybe we've got our own excuses, and God wants to use us anyway. He won't take no for an answer. He doesn't want to take no for an answer anyway, because he passionately loves his people as much as he passionately loves us. And he comes down and he wants to liberate people. And God doesn't want Moses to stay on the mountain and worship him on this holy ground. He sends him on a mission. And he sends every one of us on a mission too. We may have our own individual mission, God, and we have our collective mission as a parish. I was talking to a guy last night, a young adult, and he was telling me a little bit about his story. And I know he wouldn't plan on me talking about him, so I'm not going to say his name, but during COVID, he was working in a healthcare facility, right at the beginning of COVID. And he was kind of drifting away from the church, like a lot of us did at the beginning of COVID. We were just afraid. We were freaked out. Didn't come around much. He didn't come around much to church. He said he was feeling a little distant from God, but he was working in a healthcare facility during COVID, and the people there didn't want to deal with the COVID patients. They were making excuses why they didn't want to deal with them. And he said, that's just not right. That's not right at all. I will do it. I'll get all clothed up in the PPEs. And he went in and he served the COVID people. And he told me that, yeah, at that time I was feeling kind of distant from God. And I thought, you were on sacred ground. You were taking care of people that were dying or sick or suffering. You were encountering God's presence in them. You were bringing God's presence to them. You were on sacred ground. See, it's not just about being here in this sanctuary on sacred ground. The sacred ground is all around us, brothers and sisters, and God is sending us all on mission. Today is the third Sunday of the month, and so we will have our collection for Operation Good Shepherd. This is one of the things that we do collectively as a parish on mission to help the poor and the needy all around our county. Last month, we collected a total of $6,672. We gave away $12,376. We've got a little bit more on the account than we take in, so we're always able to give away more. We helped 5 families with their rent or mortgage. We helped 1 family with medical and dental expenses. We paid the car payment for 2 people. We paid 1 person's utility bill, and we gave gas vouchers to 3 people, and we funded the community dinner that happens twice a month here in our parish, which is a free dinner for anyone to come to. Of course, today, after the prayers of the faithful, we'll have a second collection for Operation Good Shepherd to continue doing this. And, in the past 2 months, we've collected nearly $24,000 for Operation Good Shepherd, and we've collected $124,000 over the past year. So God is using our parish in a collective way through your generosity to help the poor and needy, to minister to them. And if you know anyone who is in need, make sure you let us know, because that's what it's all about, sharing God's holy love with the people around us. I also wanted to mention today something I'm very excited about. Our Enrichment Center, you've heard about it. There's brochures there in the pew. We started designing this way before COVID. We kicked off a capital campaign right before COVID. Then we sort of put it on hold, and the money kept coming in. People have been very generous and supportive of it. This Enrichment Center, is going to help us advance our mission. It's going to help us form children and youth in their faith, and even adults in their faith. So it's kind of like a foundation underneath this place of worship that we're in now. It's the foundation of our faith, where we're passing it on, where we're learning and growing and being enriched by the teachings of our faith in lots of different ways. It'll have a youth center and have places for small groups to gather. We have got a lot of small groups that are gathering right now in our parish, and they're having conflicts with their place to meet. And so we need that. We also need a place to celebrate our faith with receptions, like after funerals or even after weddings, and a place to draw people in to evangelize, to share things about the faith that maybe they're not ready quite to come here and approach the Holy of Holies. Maybe they just are at the distance, and we draw them into the Enrichment Center and help them to draw closer to the Lord. So far, we've raised $2.5 million. We need 2 more. And just within the last 2 weeks, 2 different people came up to me and said, Father, I want to get this thing going. I want to support this. I'm going to give $100,000 as a challenge grant. I will match any donation up to $100,000. 2 different people did this. So we have $200,000 as a challenge grant, and they'll match up to that. That would put us at $400,000. And when I mentioned this to another person, they already came up and said, okay, I'll give you $20,000 to start with. So we're on our way, and I take this as signs and wonders, like the Lord did through Moses. There are signs and wonders that are affirming us in our movement in this direction, and as our parish goes forth in mission, on a mission mode. God is saying, I am with you, and I will be with you. Yes, this sanctuary is holy ground because of the one who abides here in the tabernacle. But remember why we are here. To receive Holy Communion so that we can become living tabernacles and to bring God's holy love to the people in our lives. Even as we approach the people in our lives, the people that aren't here perhaps, even as we approach them, remember that God is with them too, and He's with us. Already, we are on holy ground as we approach them, and God wants to continue to do His signs and wonders through us.